here to TalkFCB and welcome to the World Cup final. This is it. This is the game that we've all been waiting for, and the stage could not be bigger. We have Argentina, Lionel Messi's Argentina, coming up against France, the reigning world champions, and there is so much to look forward to here. I think there's two teams, very different teams, and that's what makes it exciting. It's Europe against South America. It is Mbappé against Messi, and we are going to be talking about the game to come, about the expectations of this one, and what it means, and what it could mean to the winner. Will France be able to go back-to-back? Will they follow up their 2018 victory with a win in Qatar? Or will Lionel Messi inspire Argentina to win the World Cup for the first time in 36 years? It's all coming up for you. It is all on the way. So come on. And let's do this. Because I think when you are looking at these two nations coming into this final, I wouldn't say that it's a big surprise that we're seeing here Argentina up against France. Because I think over the past few years, these have been two of the most informed nations of anybody around, and they very much deserve their place here. I think France throughout this tournament so far have been consistently solid. They've played like the reigning champions. They've had that confidence about them, and it's been difficult to find weakness in their team. But I do just look at Argentina right now. Obviously, they had that difficult start to the World Cup, but I do think since then, every single game, they've been building. You know, it hasn't been easy, it hasn't always been smooth sailing for them, but I do look at their recent games, and especially now, winning on penalties against the Netherlands, then following that up with that big win against Croatia. Are Argentina peaking at the right time? Are they actually now at the perfect moment in the tournament, finding their best level? Because against France and the quality that they have, you do feel that Argentina will need to be at their peak. Because, of course, back in 2018 at the World Cup that France ended up winning, these two nations did indeed meet there at the round of 16 stage, and it was an extremely entertaining game. There were 7 goals in total shared between the two teams. And I do think looking back on it now, guys, Argentina at the time didn't get the credit I feel that they deserve, because to be fair, they battled hard. They actually put up an incredible fight against what was a very strong France team, and they really did push them all the way. They had the lead there actually in the second half before that stunning goal from Pavard. And I think especially once again, when you're looking at how the two teams have evolved in those years that have followed since that World Cup, I think for France, there's a lot of the same names, and I think you see that there in their performances. They're a group that know each other very, very well. They've also added key players in key areas. I think they actually, on paper, have a better team now than they did at the last World Cup. But I think for Argentina, it is night and day between what we saw in 2018, what we're seeing now. It's more of a team, there's more quality, there's more cohesion, and they will arrive in this game not relying on individual brilliance, not relying on individual magic. They will have a plan to beat France. But speaking of the reigning champions, I do think it's interesting there when you're looking at their centre-forward situation, because there has been plenty of speculation throughout this week now that Karim Benzema could make an incredible return to the team there. Of course, he's missed this World Cup so far with injury, but could he actually be back in time for the final, and could he play? That was something that Didier Deschamps did not deny in the build-up to this one, but I just think that is extremely unlikely here, and not something that I would think about doing if I was Deschamps. Not only is Benzema not up to speed right now, he's not played a minute at this World Cup, and those are not exactly the kind of conditions that you want to be thrown into in a World Cup final. But I also think Giroud, you look at what he gives, not only in terms of the goals that he scored this tournament, he scored some very, very big ones along the way. He's been performing at an outstanding level, but I also think Giroud helps those around him. I think when you look at Mbappé, Dembele as well, Griezmann, playing in and around him, they enjoy it there. And I think they all knit themselves together very, very nicely. So for me, I wouldn't be bringing Benzema back in. I wouldn't really be thinking about him in this final. Giroud will start, and he deserves that. Another player, though, from France that I would certainly highlight, because for me he's been one of the players of the tournament so far, it's Antoine Griezmann. And I think his performance actually against Morocco, that epitomised him at this World Cup. He was absolutely everywhere. He plays multiple positions in this France team. He does multiple roles all in one, and it has been incredible to watch the performances that he's been putting in. And Griezmann also was full of praise after France reached the final there, with glowing words there on his former teammate Lionel Messi, speaking about the quality that he has, that it'll be different in this game facing somebody like him and the team around him that Argentina have. And I think that's probably the only negative right now that I'd have when watching Griezmann in this France team, the way that he's playing, that actually we didn't see this at Barcelona. We weren't able to get this version of him to unlock Griezmann in the way that we're seeing him do. And we've seen him do it many, many times before. That's the only real shame, given, of course, the big investments that we made in him. But I think when you're talking about Lionel Messi, when you're talking about the match winners in this game, of course, it's Messi versus Mbappé. Two people who know each other well, of course, playing together at club level with PSG. And it's interesting to see they've both been very, very similar at this World Cup so far in terms of the stats. They've been instrumental in their teams getting this far. 5 goals apiece for both of them. Messi has 1 more assist to this name. And you just look at this matchup here, and so much is riding on this game. Not only about the World Cup, the small prize of winning the World Cup, but this game will also likely decide who finishes as the top goal scorer, who finishes as the best player of the tournament. And then I think you look even further, you zoom out a bit further then, and thinking about what a World Cup victory would do for either player, it is very, very possible that the winner of this game, out of these two, will be the front runner for the Ballon d'Or. And I certainly don't think whatsoever that the Argentina team would have forgotten what Kylian Mbappé said just a few months ago there when he was talking about the quality of international football in South America, openly questioning it there in the public eye. He said Argentina hasn't played games of great quality in order to reach the World Cup. He said in South America, football isn't as advanced as it is in Europe. That's why, if you look at the last World Cups, it's always the Europeans that win. Mbappé was very confident in his team, very confident in what Europe have been doing. Can South America prove him wrong here? Can Argentina wrestle that trophy away from France? Messi will be the driving force. But of course, the most important thing to discuss ahead of this match is all about the teams. And if we start here with the expected French lineup from Didier Deschamps, of course it's going to be Hugo Lloris in goal. He's been extremely solid throughout this tournament, a good leader as well from that back line. At right back, we're going to have our very own Jules Koundé, Varane and Upamecano at centre-back, and Theo Hernandez there at left-back. In midfield, I would expect Rabiot to return there alongside Tchouaméni. He didn't play in the game against Morocco from the start, but I think he will come back in because he adds something there to that French midfield, because then you have the quartet ahead of them. You've got Dembele from the right-hand side. He'll be looking to really cause problems for Argentina. Mbappé on the left. Griezmann in that hole down the middle, operating in so many different areas behind Olivier Giroud. And that French team there looks extremely solid in all areas of the field, and it is going to be difficult to find a way through them. And Lionel Scaloni will need to have a plan. Now, will he go with a back 4? Will he return there to 4 at the back and 3 in midfield? Could we see Di Maria starting this game? Now, he wasn't fit enough to play from the start in the last one. He's had lots more days now to recover and be ready. Will he start this one? And will Acuna return at left back there to replace Tagliafico? Did play well, to be fair, when called upon in the last game. But guys, I wouldn't be surprised to see again 3 at the back in this one. I think perhaps here Scaloni, looking at the threat of Mbappe, looking at what maybe France have got in those wider areas, could we see Romero, Otamendi, Lisandro Martinez, Molina and Acuna from the start, just to add some more protection there? Because I'm thinking about, if that's a back 4 and you've got Molina, who's been so key for Argentina on that right-hand side, given that he's up against Mbappe, he's going to be really restricted in what he can do going forward. He's been such an outlet on that right-hand side. But if you're in a back 4 score, I don't think he can get forward. We saw that from Kyle Walker when England played France there. He had to stay back. He had to be withdrawn. And I think if Molina is kept quiet in that way, it would be a big, big loss going forward for Argentina. So he may play there. 3 along the back. Romero can step out. Lisandro Martinez the same. Molina and Acuna can be pushed on a little bit more. You've got the 3 in midfield. And then Alvarez and Messi leading the line. Those two have combined so well. They can do damage and do enough of it all on their own. And then later in the game, perhaps then we'll see the introduction of Di Maria. Argentina have options to come off the bench, but it's all going to be about that Mbappé battle, keeping him quiet, and not only that, but not committing too many players to him and leaving others free. And of course, then it's about Messi. What are France going to do with him? Are they going to put players on him in midfield? Are they going to make sure they've got Theo Hernandez on him there at left back? But it's also going to be interesting to see, if Messi does target that left-hand side of France, is Mbappé going to work back? Is he actually going to put in some defensive yards there to keep Messi quiet? That is going to be really, really fascinating. Because when you are looking once again at the predictions, well, on my community section, Argentina are massive favourites. There is overwhelming support here for Argentina, for Lionel Messi in this game. The whole world is watching and wondering whether it could be his time, his year, his tournament to lift the World Cup. But we all know the threat that France pose. There is no denying here they are such a quality team. They are the reigning world champions. They have so many weapons in their armoury. And of course we have plenty of interest there as well with Jules Koundé and Ousmane Dembélé. And we do wish them all the very, very best. But let's see what happens. Let's see if Messi can impact one more game. We've seen him have a phenomenal tournament. We have seen him have such an impressive time. And the whole world is appreciating that right now. He is getting extraordinary praise and he deserves it. But can he win the big one? Can he finally get his hands on the World Cup? Let me know down below, guys. Do you believe this is Messi's moment? Can he do it at last? I will be seeing you after the game for the big match review. What will happen? Who will win it? Thank you for watching. And thank you for all of your support during this World Cup. It's been a pleasure. And all that's left to say now is until next time. As always, it's the World Cup.